Hi guys, scenthound here today talking about Issey Miyake. Yeah, that's loud they say poor Om you see right there. Of course the female one preceded it in 1992. The female version was launched and this came out in 1994, this particular perfume. The female one apparently, if you see the bottle design, was inspired by moon shimmering near the Eiffel Tower. That's what inspired Issey Miyake for that perfume. So this perfume came out in 1994. Now I have to say something about this man Issey Miyake. That's what this video is about. I'm gonna give a general overview in this first part of it, and probably a second video will follow where I go into more miscellaneous stuff about Issey Miyake. Alright. So this guy, okay. First of all, how many of you already know or are aware that he just passed away in August, 5th of August 2022 in Tokyo? When Thierry Mugler, another famous perfume house by, of course, Thierry Mugler, he passed away. I think more people seem to be aware of that, but Issey Miyake's passing away seems to be relatively not so well known, at least to whatever media I'm exposed to, right? And that seems to be a theme all his life. This gentleman, one of the rare East Asians, mustachioed East Asians, because most of them prefer to be clean shaven, maybe except George Lam. So he's unique even in that sense. A very well trimmed mustache he has. He seems to be, I wouldn't say the victim, it's actually his preference. He likes to sort of, I guess he chose a profession where you are in the limelight a lot, but a very public kind of work. But he's by nature a very private person, very subtle, underplayed kind of personality, right? So the problem with that is that you get a lot of naughty people sort of taking over the truth. Okay, so the problem was that there are two things that come to my mind. The first is when this came out in 1994. You see the bottle design, the whole aesthetic, this grey smoke glass, this kind of writing and all that. Okay, can you think of any other brand or 90s this one who followed this aesthetic? Can you think of a laptop which came out in this color, very smooth and okay? Let me just go up here. You see this? Could you imagine a laptop like this, maybe in more rectangular shape? Yep. So yeah, what happened is that the nose for this is, of course, is Jacques Cavalier, but it's Issey Miyake's house, so obviously he had his vision stamped on the product. His vision, his design and whatnot. So this became one of the most sought after iconic perfumes. But because of seems to be his tendency to sort of being underplaying things, this was soon eclipsed by a product. Came out 2 years later, 1996. This time under the nose of Alberto Morillas by Armani, which is quite similar. Now I'm not saying anything, it's open to individual interpretation, but just take a look at this. Does it seem kind of similar to you, these two designs? Does it seem similar? It seems quite similar to me. Okay, so that's the whole inspired by thing, right? So but ultimately this became the best-selling, loved by all product, Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. Maybe the marketing, the loudness, the overplaying was really strong on this one. But yeah, they won financially with this. So yeah, for me as well, just like any other average Joe, I started off with Acqua di Gio because that's the one most visible. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not a bad product, it's good and everything. But it took me many years before getting to know Issey Miyake, right? So when you do good product, I think you should sort of let the world know about it. No need to be ostentatious, but so I don't have an easy answer for that, unless you guys know a way of being humble and put your head down and do the work, while at the same time not letting other people just mimic you and ride away with the glory. Is there any way to do that? I don't know. Now, second story that comes to mind, as I said, in a subsequent video, I'm planning to do a more a different angle of this thing. The other thing is that about the very legendary, iconic black turtleneck, okay, which Steve Jobs used to sport, right? His black turtleneck, Levi's jeans, and New Balance shoes. Now, the other brands are very clear, but what about the turtleneck? The black turtleneck, it was a mystery, right? Because it didn't have any big brand logo embossed on the clothing or what, for people to say, oh, Steve Jobs is wearing this or that. It's very subtle, which again, if you think about it, quite one of those strong Japanese minimalist aesthetic is there, right? Especially back then in the 90s, where generally US products were quite loud. So anyway, I read in a famous American magazine that the day after he died, a product in America, a particular fashion house, retail fashion house, one of the staff gave an interview saying that Steve Jobs loved their black turtleneck, and he always will call ahead and ask how much stock is there and so on and so forth. And they enjoyed a lot of sales after that, after Steve Jobs' passing. However, the information about Issey Miyake being the actual creator of the black turtleneck which Steve Jobs got, that news came much later. And if I'm not mistaken, in Walter Isaacson's biography of Steve Jobs, this was mentioned. So the thing is that this tendency of Issey Miyake to be sort of laying low, being quiet, has caused these issues. Of course, ultimately, when people inquired this fashion house in America about this inaccurate statement, they started giving excuses and so on. But the damage and apostrophe was already done, because they got all the sales, right? And until now, Issey Miyake, I feel, has a good bunch of credit that he deserves sort of taken away from him, I feel. Okay. A lot of things. Even, for example, apparently he was an atomic bomb survivor, and his mom died a few months after the bombing due to what's the word for it? The poisoning from the atomic bomb, right? The radio waves and all that. And apparently he never mentioned that for many years, until much later. I think in 2005, he wrote an op-ed in a New York magazine about the importance of peace and the dangers of atom bomb and such things, if I remember correctly. So Issey Miyake, although I feel that based on what I've read, many of the, of course, you were famous. Issey Miyake is a famous brand. I'm not taking anything away from that, but he received much less acknowledgement and recognition than he should have, with two examples that I mentioned just now. So I hope, although very sadly he passed away on 5th of August 2022, I hope that the many things that he stood for, about, for example, the anti-atomic bomb war stance that he stood for, and he even apparently was against this image of the fashion designer as this elitist, unreachable kind of high status person or product. He wanted his fashion products to be like very accessible to everybody, simplicity and all that. I do agree that he come up with a lot of technological innovations like pleated clothings and all that. I think the Japanese penchant for creating this cool high-tech stuff, you can't take it away from them. That is always there, and of course those things cost money, right? So we don't deny that, but at least he had that how to say that philosophy or the spirit of that commonality, day to day. That's why that Steve Jobs what do you call it, turtleneck embodies that perfectly. It looks very subtle, very day to day, everyday wear. In fact, if someone with the taste of Steve Jobs choose to wear your design every day, that means it must stand for something, right? So yeah, it's got a lot of the ethos. And some of the Apple designs, I don't know, man. I guess you guys can sort of tell me about it, but I am getting some vibes, right? Maybe it's just me. Okay, so with that, I sort of end my first part of my brief discussion of Issey Miyake. It was more of a off-the-cuff kind of talk, because above all else, I felt like, wow, Issey Miyake passed away, and why is not many people talking about it? So I'm gonna probably do another one real soon, because I think Issey Miyake deserves more than one video. And if you guys have an experience with, maybe some of you have even met him, some of you have had the chance to have some interesting experiences with either his perfumes or his creations, clothing lines and all that. If you have such things, then do share in the comment section. It'll be cool. Otherwise, guys, till next video, take care. Bye bye. Scenthound. See you soon. See you on the other side. Issey Miyake.